Downtown Jasper could soon be getting some historical recognition. More on that. Plus, Carrie Schneider is back with our friends at the DuBois County Humane Society. All that and much more is coming up tonight on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Well, the May primary election has been in the books for a bit over an hour now, and the majority of races today were not contested. Here in DuBois County, Democratic voters had to decide who to nominate between incumbent Councilwoman Barbara Modice and challenger Nancy Wilson for the District 3 County Council seat. In Marion Township, voters chose between former trustee Clarence Rekaloff and current trustee Bradley Terwisky. The Republican ballot was fairly crowded locally with 4 contested primary races. Incumbent Larry Bouchon and challenger Andrew McNeil are seeking the party's District 8 U.S. Representative nomination. Meanwhile, Aaron Houchin and Tad Whitus sought the nomination for the District 47 State Senate seat. Mark Messmer and Ted Metzger are going to face off for the District 48 State Senate nomination. In the House of Representatives, Mike Braun and Richard Moss are fighting it out for the Republican nomination for the District 63 State Representative seat. Looking in Spencer County, the only notable race there is for the County Sheriff's Office. Marvin Heilman, Jim McDermott, Jeff Meredith, and Jim Taggart are gunning for the Republican nomination, with the winner to face either Christopher King or Kelly Renke in November. The spot will be vacated by current Sheriff Kermit Lindsay. The polls opened locally at 6 a.m. this morning, and they just closed about an hour ago, as mentioned. DuBois County Clerk Bridget Jarboe says her office did things a bit differently in some places this year.
We did a few things differently in Patoka Township and in Ferdinand Township. So we're hoping to learn anything that we might be able to do with other areas to make it a little more of a convenience for voters.
Jarboe says the turnaround for getting results should go quicker this year than in the past due to a lower turnout. On that note, we will be moving into our live election coverage coming up later on in this broadcast. Turning to other news this evening, the DuBois County Sheriff's Department is now warning folks of a potential scam involving the Internal Revenue Service. Deputies received a report from a resident who had been contacted by a person claiming to represent the IRS. Deputies say the caller told the resident they had a lawsuit against them for unpaid taxes. The resident did hang up the phone after the scammer gave information on a number that they should call. IRS officials have recently warned folks to be on the lookout for sophisticated and aggressive phone scams aimed at taxpayers, including recent immigrants. Sheriff's deputies are once again reminding the public not to give out their personal or account information over the phone. Anyone who may be concerned about owing taxes should call the IRS at 1-800-829-1040, and employees on the line can help you with a payment if necessary. To report a scam or for more information, you can go to irs.gov and type scam in the search box. National recognition could be on the horizon for Jasper's downtown area. City officials have announced that the Courthouse Square Historic District has been nominated to the National Register of Historic Places. The area boundaries are 9th Street to the north, Newton Street to the west, 4th Street to the south, and Jackson Street on the east. Funding has been awarded to the city, courtesy of Indiana Landmarks' Partners in Preservation grant program as part of the nomination. Now, the PIP program's funding will partially cover the hiring of a professional consultant who will complete the nomination. That person will also supervise the nomination through the review process at the state level. The state review will be done by the Indiana Department of Natural Resources' Division of Historic Preservation and Archaeology. The National Register of Historic Places is the official list of sites, buildings, structures, districts, and objects that are important to our country's history, and it's run by the National Park Service. This designation would primarily be an honorary one, thus it does not replace any restrictions on property owners in a district. However, property owners would be able to use rehabilitation tax credits to help offset costs to rehabilitate their property. As part of the process, property owners and residents in the area are being encouraged to attend a public meeting that is set to be held. That meeting will be next Tuesday evening, May 13th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. at Jasper City Hall. Laura Renwick will be the guest speaker, and Renwick is a community preservation specialist with the Southern Indiana Regional Office of Indiana Landmarks. For more information or questions, you can contact Darla Blasey at 482-4255 or Laura Renwick at 284-4534. Jasper-based Kimball International has announced more growth in its third quarter results. In a news release, the company says its third quarter net sales came in at $310.8 million, up 3% from the third quarter of last fiscal year. The company's net income was announced at $7.2 million, or 19 cents per Class B diluted share. Those numbers are up from $3.7 million and 10 cents per share, respectively. Company officials say net sales in the electronic manufacturing services segment rose 2% to $185.7 million, while net income went up to $6.9 million. Meanwhile, in the furniture segment, the company says net sales rose by 5% to $125.1 million. Kimball's operating cash flow for the third quarter of fiscal year 2014 came in at $19.8 million, which is a significant jump from the $11.4 million from a year ago. Finally, cash and cash equivalents increased to $138.3 million this third quarter, which is an increase of nearly $35 million over a year's time. Tourism businesses in Spencer County are now gearing up for the busy summer season. Officials with the county's Visitors Bureau say additions and enhancements to county attractions will amount to more than $9.4 million this year. Executive Director of the Spencer County Visitors Bureau, Melissa Brockman, says the continued tourism investment in the county is something to look forward to. She says the county is fortunate to have businesses that put visitors first. Among the improvements made this year are the Kringle House Workstat, which is now open in Santa Claus, various additions to Holiday World and Splash and Safari, additions and improvements at Lake Rudolph Campground and RV Resort, new exhibits for the Santa Claus Museum and Village, and 2 additional weeks for the performance of A. Lincoln, A Pioneer Tale at Lincoln Amphitheater, among others. For more information about the county as a year-round destination, you can go to santaclausind.org or you can call 888-444-9252. Finally this evening, a state contractor is preparing to begin filling in underground coal mine shafts that are collapsing just outside of Boonville. The Indiana Department of Natural Resources says its Division of Reclamation will pay Jerry Agner Construction more than $2.5 million for the work to be done on the city's southeast side. Officials say that work is set to be complete by the end of summer. The stabilization work will involve pumping a grout mixture through about 210 holes into the voids where it will firm up to provide roof support and prevent further ground movement. Boonville Mayor Pam Hendrickson, says much of the city sits atop abandoned underground coal mines, many of them unmapped and left over from illegal mining operations. All right, coming up after the break, Carrie is back with our friends at the DuBois County Humane Society, plus your local forecast and live results from tonight's primary election. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.